What's up? My name is Adam Wood, born and raised in Georgetown, Ontario. Moved to Hamilton 10, 11 years ago. I do vocals in Life Imprisonment and Sick of Shit, both from Hamilton, Ontario. What got me into punk? I think it was a gradual build from when I was younger, listening to Alice Cooper and stuff like that. Trading tapes with people and getting tapes like Testament from my sister's boyfriend and friends of his. Then when my parents just split up, I remember getting a cassette from my brother with some metal on there, like Cannibal Corpse. There was Danzig on there, a lot of different shit on there. And I remember watching a Much Music thing about the Sex Pistols. And getting into that because it was kind of an interesting story with Sid Vicious and the whole scene and everything being different. And I was feeling a bit different being in Georgetown, coming from a divorced family and whatnot. And then I met my buddy Mark. We become friends over Green Day, finding out about Green Day, walking home from a fucking some dance at school. And from there, him and I would see little things around town about shows and that, and then we started going to shows right from the get-go. And we went and seen some local bands, and that was my real introduction to punk. Before that, yes, I did get into Sex Pistols, got their CD, Clash, heard Ramones, Suicidal Tendency video would be on. The basic things of that time. I was into Nirvana. There was a couple other gateway things there, but I'd say around there we're getting into the shows because there happened to be, for some strange reason, a year or two of shows when I was like 13, 14, and my parents would let me go and Mark's parents would let him go, and that was my real introduction to punk, I would say. Alright, what are my main influences growing up, personal and musical? My parents. My dad played music, played guitar and that growing up. Met my mom through playing music. My mom was highly into music. She likes blues, country. My dad's really into the old country, metal, a lot of different stuff. They kind of got me into it through guitar, buying me tapes when I was in grade 3 and buying me stuff I probably shouldn't have. Allowing me to do what I wanted and be who I wanted and listen to and see whatever I wanted to and experience being me. And that is a huge influence to me, and that goes directly down to anything I try to do. I try to just let people be who they are and understand who they are for who they are. And I'd say that is all around a musical influence, and a personal one. What was my first concert and first punk show? I guess my first concerts would have been like Fall Fair maybe, or like my mom would take me out to like Copper Kettle in the Glen Williams near Georgetown, and we would see some of her friends' bands play there, the McGibbon every once in a while, the street festival downtown. My first punk show would have been around 95, 94, 95 maybe, in Georgetown. It was like a showcase of local bands that we had just started kind of hearing about through the skate community, me and my best friend Mark, and raw energy bands. I think it might have been Maryland's Vitamins, Five Knuckle Chuckles, 79 and Counting, I think, and Tire Kickers at Aries, a small basement venue that I would later on rent out and have shows of my own on, which felt awesome about that, because various times we got kicked out of there for urinals being broken off or whatever various reasons happening. But I'd say that was my first punk show and first shows, I guess, yeah. Alright, so what's my favorite shows I've seen? Shows we'll go with. It's like a favorite band. Can't really just name one. At least if you've been to a few. For me, first time I seen Addicts with the Misfits, Addicts, UK Subs, a band called Orange I didn't really care much for, and Might have been Mel Havoc. I think I seen Mel Havoc and he cut up his chest, rolled around the dance floor. That was a fucking great time. One of my best friends pass out on the couch and wasted his whole night sleeping on the couch, hammered. That was pretty funny to see. Couldn't really understand how he did that, but another one would be GBH. Seeing GBH or my first show, that was fucking legendary. Seeing Sons of Ishmael, that was awesome. Being able to see Coxbar for the first time, that was really good. And once again, I got to see Bishop Green, who I was able to play with, and one of my favorite Canadian bands all around. Greg's awesome, writer. The list can go on, really. Almost forgot one. Seen Cockney Rejects in fucking Toronto, and then I was asked by a good friend of mine named Glenn, who used to own This Ain't Hollywood in Hamilton, to fucking DJ for them. And I did. It was awesome. Kind of scary. Picked through my records, didn't know what to do. I had to DJ through the whole thing, and it was awesome. Had people come up to me and thank me for playing this, that, whatever. It felt a lot different from doing a live show. Same kind of fucking butterflies in the stomach, but I'd say that right there is probably one of my best shows, getting to DJ for Cockney Rejects. Yeah, so rundown of past and current bands. So it's like 2005, I moved back to Georgetown, had like some weird shit go down. Wanted to start a band. Started a band pretty late in life compared to a lot of friends and being in the community. The first band was, what do we call that? Fuck me. Lost Cause. And I actually put on a show, and it was like a month or two, and I was like, yo, Tyler, you want to do this band? I have a show coming, you want to play it? Yeah, fucking right. So we basically built up a set and did the fucking show with a bunch of local bands. I think it might have been The Rotten, some stuff like that, Broadcast Zero maybe even. But after that, we went to Social Conscience with Tyler again. Tyler's been a mainstay. He's also one of my best friends. You may have heard Mark LaFleur, and there's Tyler. And Tyler and I started Social Conscience right after Lost Cause. And Lost Cause also had Robbie in it. Robbie's in Mono Negatives and a bunch of other bands. Good dude. Way younger than me when he started. He's probably like 13, starting with like I was 20 probably, in my 20s, and Tyler was like 18. Second band, Social Conscience. It's Tyler and myself and this kid named RJ. We toured around, not really touring, but played Hamilton, Georgetown, Toronto, a bunch of different shows. Got to meet a bunch of people from Hamilton, which I've kept those relationships. From Social Conscience, it went to At What Cost, once again with Tyler. We started that band, that went through a few member changes. Got Gord on drums. We got Stevie, another really close friend of mine. Guy went through a lot of shit, asked him to join, got hit by a car. Eventually was in the hospital for quite a while. Exited the hospital, joined us, had stipulations where he wasn't able to play shows with us, but did. Got through that. At What Cost did like 5 years, I think. Maybe I'm wrong on that, maybe 4 years. But we played with like Infra Riot, tons of fucking bands, man. The System, it was a great time. Got to play Montreal for the first time with those guys, best friends of mine. After that, I moved to Hamilton during that band. We started coming here a lot, playing here like every weekend. Got friends here. Was coming up way too much to keep driving back and forth when wanting to partake, say. And At What Cost broke up. A few other things happened in my life, and music was going a different way for me. And I started Sick as Shit with a couple good buddies of mine. Jordan, who's in the Doomed, and a bunch of other bands. Sick as Shit's kind of gone through a bunch of members. Jai Bay, people know him from a shit ton of bands. Bleeding Out, just wanted to say that he's in right now. We have Grant, who is one I was like scared to ask, but came in. Jai Bay was another one I was scared to ask. But Grant's been in there pretty much since the beginning as a second guitar player. Andrew was in the band for years. We did a 7-inch with Schizophrenic Records, played a shit ton of shows, Paranoid Visions, Montreal, bunch of different things. Now we have a new guy. Andrew had left for various whatever reasons. We had Nate on guitar. Nate's also in System with Grant. That's another amazing band. It's like a brother of ours with members of ours. Then we brought Keith in. I went through a bit of health problems. Didn't really want to do bass and vocals anymore. At first I was doing guitar and vocals, moved to bass, vocals. Then we brought in Keith, who was in Hammertooth with Grant, another amazing band. Keith's been on. First show for that guy was his fucking first show of his life was 25. And his 25th birthday with Haymaker at This Ain't Hollywood. That was a great show. That was also pretty funny because Grant also, I think, played his first show at 25 with Haymaker, but playing for Haymaker, in Haymaker. And that show was crazy, a lot of fireworks, couldn't really breathe after. Amazing times. Once again, that band's still going. We have another member, Andrew, left, and now we have Jeremy. Jeremy's been in for about almost 2 years, but the pandemic has kind of slowed things down with that. During the pandemic, I started a band with Jeremy and friends of ours from Bacon, Gnarly Skull, and several other bands. Kevin and Kenny. That's called Life Imprisonment. I do vocals on that. It's pretty crusty, fucking grindy group. We did a live feed show at Hammer City with Steve, our friend here. Did the video for that. Shit kind of got crazy, so we didn't do anything for a while, and we're just starting to practice and gonna record pretty soon, and hopefully in the next month or two. And then looks like Sick as Shit is gonna get back together and start doing things next several months, and that's pretty much what I got going on with all that stuff, and possibly more with Kate. Hopefully looking to do a band with her and possibly Jordan from the original lineup is Sick as Shit. So just stay tuned. The fucking craziest thing I ever seen or happened at a show I played or attended. Well, some of this I'm not really going to say on camera. Some of the craziest shit I ever seen happened before and after and in between, sometimes outside of the show. Yeah, a lot of crazy shit. Mark, best friend, had somebody's teeth go through his head in a mosh pit in Toronto at Cathedral. Might have been one of those three-tard shows. And I remember that and him having to go to get his tetanus shots after. The usual shit you've seen, fighting going on, been in some myself. Journals being ripped off, the stupid adolescent stuff that used to get us kicked out of the Georgetown halls and all that stuff. My best friend's Tyler, his from Applecross, Wretched Fools and all that, his dad got pushed through a plate glass window at a show in Georgetown. That was pretty crazy. That got us kicked out of the Aries pub. A lot of playing with Haymaker. That was a crazy one when they fireworks, and I have a band kicking around in the other room with some remnants of that. I kept them, but they passed us a bunch of fucking what are they? Roman candles to do off in our set. We didn't end up doing it, but I still have those in the bag, reminiscing about that night. Just thought I'd keep them. There's a lot of shit like that. Fuck. Some of the crazy moments too is just seeing bands you never thought you'd ever see. Some opening bands that would just blow your mind. I think that's pretty crazy too, I'd say, for shows. What do I enjoy the most about being a musician? First of all, musician, I don't know if you'll say that, but I play in some bands. I've done some shit. I enjoy the camaraderie, the friendship, getting to go around and play for a bunch of people. That's amazing. The energy of playing live is pretty crazy. Um, Playing with some bands that fucking I never expected in my life I'd fucking play for. Idols of mine. That's been pretty crazy. It's been pretty big trip. Some of the things I don't like about being a musician, look at my gear, the money it costs you. Though that doesn't affect it in ways, but does. You still love it for what you do, but it can cost a bit, and that's all. Besides, like, your average shit, beefs, whatever. But the most of it is just lugging your gear and fucking the expenses of it, trying to tour, and that. My useless talents that I have. I can kind of whistle like it's dropping water. I don't know if that's a useless talent. I know I Kate sometimes. That's pretty useless talent. Doesn't really get me further anyway. Drinking and having a good time during the interview and trying to keep my poser. I'm pretty sure that's a useless talent. And falling on stage. That's been a useless talent of mine a few times. Yeah. What's my favorite food? Potato chips. I fucking love potato chips. Lay's potato chips, Ruffles, Doritos, doesn't matter. I also love, besides that, pretty much not much else besides the Mexican food. I love some Italian food. But potato chips, man. I don't know what it is, but potato chips since I was a kid. And you can get potato chips and pretty much anything, like a bunch of shit at Taco Bell. So maybe later we'll go to Taco Bell. Steve, maybe once some live shows get together and everything, we'll all go to Taco Bell after. All you guys, man. Laid to Rest crew. Red War, everybody, man. From Hamilton, from beyond, to Taco Bell. Okay? Thanks.